I'm Hanneline Smith-Robinson. I'm the Terrestrial Bird Conservation Manager at BirdLife South Africa. It means the responsibility to look after all our land birds or terrestrial birds. And about 141 of our bird species in South Africa is listed in our Red Data book, the 2015 Eskom Red Data book. So we're focusing specifically on the most threatened species, on general threats to those species, for example, habitat loss, poisoning, electrocutions, collisions, and the list continues. So it's a focus on a number of specific species, but also keeping our common birds common. So we've recently started a couple of projects where we're looking more general at threats to our bird species and focusing on those more common bird species like the orange-breasted waxbill and the European roller.
So who do you interact with when you do your work?
So we interact with a number of stakeholders. So we interact with other colleagues, which is also from other NGOs, so non-profit organizations, like for example the Endangered Wildlife Trust. We work a lot with the national government, the Department of Environmental Affairs, also with SANBI, South African National Biodiversity Institute, and then of course with other stakeholders such as developers. So we also positioned ourselves in looking at minimizing the impacts on renewable energy developments, so looking specifically at solar and wind farms. So we work closely with the solar and the wind developers, also a range of other developers, other stakeholders, farmers being very important on that list as well.
Well, what would you say are some of the big obstacles that you deal with?
I think for me the biggest obstacle is really like we're a small team of people. So capacity is always limited, so not enough time every day to get to everything that you'd really like to do. And also by being a small team of people making a small change, for me the biggest challenge is really to change people's behavior and people's perception. So if we could reach the public out there, and that's why the awareness projects is equally important to the actual work that we do on the ground. Because if people can start to think differently and do things differently, that's where our success will lie.
Okay.
As all of us have our many challenges, we're also fortunate to really have successes and to have made some headway. And I'm just going to mention about two of those. One being working closely with wind farm developers, and the wind farm industry has really influenced the sites that's going to be used where wind farms will be developed. So really we've minimized the threats to our birds in those areas. Another great example is that of the Ngula Partnership, which is a partnership between Eskom, BirdLife South Africa and Middelpunt Wetland Trust. And BirdLife and Middelpunt opposed that site about 15 years ago because of the loss of habitat for white-winged flufftail, specifically one of our critically endangered bird species. But with minimum impact on the site and with working together with Eskom, the other two NGOs, we're now going to declare 8,000 hectares of a provincial nature reserve, which means that habitat will be protected not only for white-winged flufftail, but for a number of bird species and other biodiversity.